Welcome into the Saints post-game show presented by Uber Eats alongside Scott Shanley. I'm Aaron Summers. The Saints come out of Carolina victorious with a 17-7 win over the Panthers. It was the first division win of the season and second for the Saints. This game had a little bit of everything, and for once I think we saw a complete game. A lot of complementary pieces in all phases by the Saints. Scott, overall, what did you like about the way the Saints played today?
Well, there's no doubt it was their most complete game, not only this year, but in quite some time. I think when you look at the way the defense played, Carolina Panthers, they've won 4 of their last 5 games. This was a team on a roll, won in Lambeau Field last week, had a lot of confidence. And so the Saints go in there today, and a lot of people didn't expect them to play the way they did. Defensively, outstanding against one of the better running teams in the NFL. Shut that down. Made Bryce Young beat them, and he couldn't. And then offensively, running the football. You see what running the football does, and it cures everything that ails you as a team. You control the line of scrimmage. You control the time of possession. You went from 40 plays last week to 67 this week. Obviously, when you have 27 more plays, you have an opportunity to score more points.
Yes, they were on the field offensively a lot more, and it was for good reason, because they were moving the ball down the field. They were sticking with that run game. Let's start at the beginning of this game, where the Saints did allow the Panthers to score on the opening drive, 7-0 to start the game. That was the last time that the Panthers got into the end zone, the last time that they scored. So you were able to recollect yourselves after what you had thought was going to be an interception that was called back because of roughing the passer penalty, and then you allow the Panthers to extend that drive, end in a touchdown. And then you come back, and the rest of the game, you completely is shut down the Panthers.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that impressed me. I've already mentioned the things that impressed me. Defense stepped up. Running game was there. Haven't seen that really all year. But I think one of the things that impressed me the most was the overcoming adversity. Early in the game, the Panthers end up scoring because of the penalty. DeMar had an interception. You think, oh, here we go again. They score a touchdown. And right down the field, the offense goes, opening up the playbook, allowing Tyler to take advantage of his arm strength and getting vertical in the offense. I think you could just tell by the way Tyler was walking. Like, he was walking with confidence. His body language completely changed after a couple of really good plays. It was almost like every young player, even older players, you need to make plays and say, I can play in this league. I can do this. And that's the way Tyler was walking around, and that's the way he played the rest of the game.
Shuck ended up 19 of 27, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was extremely poised in the pocket. He had the ability to extend plays. He moved well in the pocket. What did you see from him from last week to this week and his growth?
Tons of growth. The one thing as a coach you want to see from a young player is there's going to be things that he struggles with early on. Every young player does. You just want to see that you learn from your mistakes. You don't want to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over. And I think what you saw from Tyler from last week to this week, especially in the pocket, the game moves so fast. There's no other position on the field where you have to diagnose and go through as much information as a quarterback position as fast as you do. And I thought he did a great job of slowing the game down, stood in the pocket, made the throws. You saw the arm strength. You saw all the attributes that everybody during the draft time we're talking about Tyler with. So the fact that he was able to put it all together, from playing in a tough experience against the Rams to going on the road again and playing the way he did, was impressive.
He opened up with a 62-yard pass early in this game, or a 52-yard pass to Juwan Johnson, and then a 62-yard to Chris Olave. So we started to see his ability to hit those deep balls, but then he is also threading it in between defenders and hitting really tight windows. So we saw some versatility in his passing game. He used his legs some to even get first downs and extend plays in that regard as well. I felt like he distributed the ball differently than we have seen, and he really did get a lot of other receivers involved. We saw Devon Vele getting involved, and even Devin Neal, Alvin Kamara, some of the running backs in the passing game as well.
And that's the beauty of being on the field for 27 more plays. We haven't had enough plays offensively, staying on the field to see what other guys can do. And so this week, getting Neal involved in the game more. Young guy, just like you're evaluating Tyler as a young guy, you want to evaluate him too. So getting him some experience, and you never want to lose a player. Obviously, Rashid Shaheed is an outstanding player, but the one thing that comes from no more Rashid is now you're getting Bailey involved. You only have one football. And so when you're an offensive coordinator, you're sitting there every week. Okay, we have these plays for Rashid. We have these plays for Chris. We have these plays for Kamara. Eventually you run out of time. So I think sometimes, as crazy as it sounds, and Rashid is an outstanding player, sometimes when you lose a guy, it's easier to game plan and you're not force-feeding the ball to so many people.
Yeah. Well, let's send it back to Carolina and hear from head coach Kellen Moore after the Saints victory.
One face has a down moment, the other face picks him up, and so I just thought it was a really good example of our team playing together, having a ton of joy as they went through it, and I thought the physicality was a positive. We knew that was going to be a physical game with the way those guys play. They're a really good team. They've had a ton of success the last few weeks, and so we knew it was going to be a battle.
They went right down the field the first time they got the ball. What changed for their side, or what did you do?
Yeah. Obviously, we had some missed ops, on that first drive. It was unfortunate, but I thought our guys just hung in there. Kept battling. Tightened up things a little bit more, and so I felt like after that it was pretty good.
Do you feel like this is the best game your team has played this year?
I think in all three phases, just playing complementary football, and we know there's missed ops out there. There's opportunities that we want to grow in, and we got to talk about and get better because of. But I just felt like all three phases were really playing well together and collectively.
What did you make of Tyler?
Yeah, I thought Tyler took an awesome step today. I thought he made some big-time plays, some off-schedule plays, the 2 to Jawan off-schedule, moving within the pocket. I thought he hung in that pocket really, really well, delivered. Can't say enough, big things about, CO, Jawan, these perimeter guys, the plays that they made.
A blocked field goal could have been a real change in momentum. How well would you explain the rule on that? And obviously you stood up right after and it didn't make a difference.
Yeah, I thought the beauty of that was, the rule's the rule. The ball went past the line of scrimmage, we touched it. Hey, it's their ball. I understand that rule. And something we talk about a lot in the heat of the moment. You see a football, your natural reaction is to recover the thing. And so we get to educate ourselves because of that. But I thought the way our guys respond was just phenomenal. Respond there to create a turnover right after that.
Can you take us through the touchdown to Jawan? Like, just before that moment, why you called that specific play? What was kind of the progression? What Tyler saw?
Yeah, really good play. I think that's the backside route. You're playing a high-low game on the front side. He worked through his progression, stepped up in the pocket, and really found Jawan on the backside of the original play. And so I thought it was just a really good example of Tyler's ability to move, keep his eyes downfield, and make a play.
That being a big moment in the game, do you say anything to Tyler beforehand, or is it just play call comes in, execute?
Play call, let him play. He's playing really good.
Yes, his composure in those third and medium, third and long situations, is that kind of a game changer for the offense in a way? It seemed like a lot of the big plays came.
Definitely was a really good, some really good moments there because of that. I thought, again, playing in the pocket, stepping up, finding the guys downfield. I thought there were some big-time opportunities there, and third downs are hard downs. And so, for us to come away with some really successful plays on that, I thought credit to those guys who are out there making the plays.
Was Chris's speed and verticality, like, does that help offset you guys trading Rashid? Like, did he run some of the routes that he would run today, or
It's a good question. I think, CO can attack every element of this field, and so we're going to be able to utilize it. He obviously made a phenomenal play downfield a couple times. A few of the other guys got in there and played some roles, maybe not as many targets to those guys, but those guys were out there playing, and they did an awesome job executing. And so we feel like this group is going to grow together and progress.
Donald was the hottest running back in the NFL the last 5 weeks. What were y'all able to do to slow him down?
Yeah, team football on defense. Assignment sound, gap sound, tackled really well. He still missed. We missed some tackles. He broke some tackles there. But I thought, we just did such a good job of not giving up those big, explosive, long runs as we went.
Do you think this game meant something more to Chris, just considering what happened in the stadium with the concussion a year ago?
I think that's fair to, ask CO. Obviously, his experiences, he's had to navigate that through this entire journey. And so, obviously, you can anticipate that's something that's going to weigh on your mind a little bit. It's natural. But the way he played today, that was just incredible. Incredible plays, phenomenal. The energy, the juice that he brought to our team. I thought it was a really special performance.
You mentioned the awesome step for Tyler. What do you look for now from him, and where do you kind of want to see his development growth?
Yeah, we're just going to keep growing. Every game, there's going to be 5 plays that we're going to say, we're going to want to improve on those. There are going to be some plays that we can lean our hat on and continue to reinforce, and we just got to keep growing.
Also, that 8-minute drive to end the game,
Yeah.
how important was that to, seal this one out?
Yeah, that was such a cool drive. Just a really, really cool drive. Physicality, offensive line, battling. It was really Taysom and the running backs, and they just went for it. And so really cool drive for those guys. Really an identity type drive where you can lean on, when you talk about being a physical football team and grinding games out like this. It's a really good example of it.
Y'all won the toss and deferred obviously the last 2 weeks. Took the ball. What was behind the change?
Yeah, traditionally, normally we would prefer to defer. We're trying to get a little bit of a spark the last 2 weeks. It, obviously it didn't get the result that we had hoped, and so we'll decide each week how we want to best suit this, and made that decision before the game.
When you're choosing which side to defend, if you figure that out beforehand, like how do you
which direction you're kicking and all that stuff?
Yeah, well, because you defer, so you get to choose.
Yeah. Usually that's in communication with special teams and then just talking about field conditions and stuff. So sometimes there's wind that factors into that.
What do you make of the kind of the first half sequence near the end there, where you guys ended up
Yeah. Obviously, trying to have the last possession of the drive, the last relevant possession of the quarter, and so. I got to look at it, to see if we, ultimately weren't able to get the points that you want. And so I got to look at, seeing where can we improve there, execution-wise, schematically, get ourselves in position. Maybe, I'll look at how those timeouts progress and where we can potentially improve there.
You hit on it before, but I wanted to ask it again. Like, when Tyler converts those third downs like that, what does that tell you about him?
Yeah, he's executing and playing really good football. Those are not easy downs. Again, we talked about there's hard downs in this league, and teams that can execute in those downs and make plays, they're the ones that are the most successful teams. And so, obviously credit to our guys who went out there and made those plays. The protection, Tyler, the perimeter guys, some guys stepped up.
You now have a bye week next week. How can you use this win to kind of use that momentum going into the final stretch?
Yeah, obviously, you won't play for 13 days now, and so to have a win, as your last moment, I think can carry some momentum, carry some energy. Our guys got to recharge during a bye week. We got to use it to our advantage, and put ourselves in position to kind of attack this back end of the season. And so, I'm excited for our guys to be able to utilize that and get ready to go.
What was working about the run game? Was it that physicality?
Yeah, I thought physicality. I thought Alvin, credit to him. Some really just physical, dirty runs where he was able to finish really well, and so. I thought there was some progress there, and we just got to keep growing in that area.
And the other day talking about the 1-8 start is what it is, but it feels like things are still being done the right way. The energy that's building and the locker room is still good. Is winning a game just help you kind of reinforce that? Because obviously you can say that, but if the wins aren't coming,
No doubt. Ultimately, we're here to win football games, and we want to win football games collectively. And so it takes the entire group. I give a ton of credit to our guys, the way they've battled the last few weeks, to come up short a number of games in a row and to come back, recharge, ready to go each Wednesday, ready to put in a new plan and just go about the week every single week the same way. And, so I think, it's credit to our guys. We have the right kind of guys in the building to keep growing and keep developing and keep getting better as a team.
What do you see on that Alontae interception?
Yeah, I didn't get a great angle of it, so obviously big-time play. Just credit to him. Just being in place and having vision on the ball, obviously big-time play.
Was there anything you guys were able to do to Bryce Young's yards per attempt with that high, anything that were able to
Yeah, I thought, combination of rush and coverage. When those things tie together and they play complementary, and our defense is able to play, with a little bit of a lead and a little bit of that momentum, and now you can feel like, hey, I can come after this quarterback, I can rush the passer. The DBs can play with a little bit more vision and play in some favorable situations. I think all that stuff adds up to favorable situations for us to go for it.
I know that you guys you had a few turnovers, but to be able to kind of impose like that when you don't have 5 turnovers, what does that say about your defense, or that you're able to do that without the amount of volume that you have previously in your first one?
Just with them creating turnovers?
Yeah, well, just what your defense was showing, even in the moments that they didn't necessarily force turnovers.
Yeah, I thought our guys, the play style was really good. The physicality, the effort, the finish, to create a couple turnovers was obviously game-changing for us. And I thought our guys kept attacking the football. There's more opportunities out there that we're going to look at and say, hey, we're really close here. How can we keep getting better and keep taking advantage of these opportunities? All right. Thanks, guys.
Alontae, what was working for the defense so well today?
I think we were just putting our eyes in the right place, doing our job, and just making sure our technique was right. I think DeMar did a really good job with just bringing everybody in after almost every series and just making sure we just did our assignments. And I think we did that, and I think it showed up.
Was that kind of what led to your interception? Did you just take it to that point?
Yeah, I mean, we do the call all week. Coach kind of tweaked a few ways that I could kind of disguise the play, and I think I kind of made a little bold move with myself, going like super close to the line of scrimmage. But I knew what my job was, and I just trusted everybody around me, and I just, like I said, knew my assignment, knew my alignment, and just made sure my technique was good.
Does Brandon or your position coach say anything to you after that? Or
Great play, great play.
They went right down the field the first possession and didn't score again. What changed for you, and what did you see out of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you go week in and week out. Everybody has like the first 15 plays, right? So they're going to throw things at us that we haven't seen on film, things that they kind of practice throughout the week. Then you go back to the Rams game, right? They kind of did the same thing. Second series, 3 and out. We made sure the second series when we had the 3 and out that, we kind of stayed true to ourselves. We didn't go haywire. Nobody was doing what they wanted to do. We just stayed true to the game plan. And I think that's what like I said, that's what we did, man. The first series, they kind of threw some twists and turns in there a little bit, and we kind of settled down and stayed true to ourselves.
is that a sign of growth for you guys that it didn't snowball?
I wouldn't say a sign of growth, man. I feel like last week was just one of those rough weeks. I think you have those in the NFL, right? I think we played pretty solid defense all around, hiccups here and there. So I think we always knew that we could do that and we could be that type of defense. I think we just showed it today.
There was a report today that Jerome was traded to the Bears, and they had conversations with you. There was a few reports a few days ago that it was making the Colts. What was trade deadline like for you, and to get past that and have a day like you did today?
Yeah, I knew it was possible. My agent communicated with me, and I just communicated that with my family, and just stay by my phone just in case the call happened. And if it didn't, I was perfectly fine with that. And like I said before, like I told you, I enjoy this group, I enjoy this team, and I know we're in a rough patch right now, but I love going to work with these guys. So glad to be here. Super excited to finish out this season.
Was it rewarding to, even with that uncertainty, to have a day like you did today?
I mean, man, I just want to go play ball, good ball every week, regardless what talks are happening before, what talks are happening after. And I think just going out there with this group of guys, like I said, bro, it was so fun today. We had a lot of fun. We was laughing and kikiing on the sideline. We was getting our corrections when we needed them. But I feel like we was on top, and we made sure that we stayed on top the whole game.
Can you walk us through Warner's fumble recovery and kind of your role on that play, making sure that Saints got the ball and not the...
Yeah. So, with the motion rules and things like that, I knew I had to stay tight to the line of scrimmage on the motion, and I didn't even know that they were handing the ball off. I just knew that that's who my guy was. But as soon as I seen the ball hit the ground, I trusted that everybody was running to the ball, and I just didn't want him to get the ball. So I just hit him, and when I looked back, I seen at least 2 or 3 white jerseys jumping on the ball. So super excited, and I just, like I said, everybody was doing their job, running out the stack, running to the ball, and when you do that, good things happen.
Was there a moment on Tuesday where you thought you were headed elsewhere?
There was a point in time, but like I said, my agent communicated to me through and through from the start of it, really all the way to the end, and I trusted him, and he was kind of keeping me calm, cool, and collective throughout it all, so I'm fine.
Disclose what team that was?
Nah, I'm good.
How did this win just feel emotionally? You just were talking about how much fun everyone was having, and I know the seasons are long when there's a lot of losses. So what did it feel like?
It felt really good. We needed it. I don't care if we're 2-8 now. Nobody can tell us, oh, you're just 2-8 now. It doesn't matter. A win is a win. I think if we lose this game, everybody's talking negative about us, right? And we needed this win, and going into the bye week, good momentum. Everybody can heal up if they're bruised or hurting, and we can come back and play a good Atlanta team at home. So great way to go into the bye week. We're going to enjoy this one.
That's something that Cam was saying too the other day. With the, even though it was 1-8, the vibes are still relatively high. What does that do for a game like this in terms of do you think it has any effect on the vibes are high, so it leads to this result?
Man, I think staying true to one another, playing ball, and going into the room week in and week out, no matter what the record is. And I mean, we got to play football every Sunday, right? Until you have a bye week, you got a game every Sunday, and so your best bet is to go out there, work hard every week, and get the game plan, and go get the dub. I mean, you can't win one game and all of a sudden be 10 and something, right? You got to take it one game at a time, and I think that's what we did. Kept our heads down, and like I said, great win for us going into the bye. We'll come back, have a good preparation, and play a good team at home, another division game.
And what did the offense being on the field for as long as they did do for you guys as a defense? What do you make of Tyler?
Man, great. I mean, I was just telling Taysom, hey, bro, appreciate you getting those first downs on those third and mediums because they changed the game a lot, right? It keeps the defense off the field. And, Tyler, like I said, I was telling some of the guys, I love how, he's scrambling and he's always finding somebody down the field. Love the receivers continue finding their ways to get open. Running backs running the ball hard. I think we just played all-around complimentary football today. Super excited, like I said before, where this thing can go. Cool. Yeah, thank you.
You have Chris Olave? There was some talk of a year ago this time, game didn't work out so well for you. Did you think of that? Was it feel bittersweet to come back and have a good game like you did?
Yeah, it was a tough time. I had a great week of practice. I didn't really think about it too much, but when I came into the stadium, I just felt it all again. I had a lot of anxiety pregame. It's a lot of stuff going on. My close people knew what was going on, so they just stuck by my side, and I appreciate them for all that.
How did you manage that anxiety?
Just talking to my peoples. Like I said, my close people on the team, my coach Doug, B. Cooks, AK, they all helped me out. My pops was here too, so I went over and talked to him pregame and tried to loosen my mind up.
Was it any anxiety over ever being hurt again, or just being back in that, like reliving that?
Like I said, I had a great week of practice. I didn't think about it too much, but like as soon as I stepped on the field, I just felt it all over again. And it was a tough situation from last year. It ended my season, so just coming back here, first time playing here again. I'm glad I had the performance I had, but I couldn't do it out with my teammates and my coaches and everybody around me.
On the other side of that, like how did it feel to get that touchdown and kind of, maybe put some of that, in the past?
Yeah, it felt good, especially I feel like we needed a play. We needed some momentum. We drove the ball down on that first drive. We kind of missed on that third down in the red zone, but I feel like we needed some momentum, and we took the lead on that play. So it was a huge play, and Tyler threw a great ball, staying in the pocket, and like I said, it was a great play.
When you jumped in the stands, were the people behind you booing you?
Oh yeah, they talking. Yeah, they talking crazy over there. I heard them in my ear, but I didn't really look at them. But yeah, they was booing me over there. I ain't gonna lie.
To be able to wrestle it from JC Warren 2, just could you kind of take us through that physicality and how you were able to
Yeah, we had I think it was third down. Was it third down? Yeah, it was third down, and we had a double move on. He kind of fooled me pre-snap. I thought he was in cover 2, and then I kind of went outside, tried to outside release, and it was man at the end of the day. That's what we wanted, but kind of got tight to the sideline, so I had to kind of battle him to catch the ball, and he had failed, so I knew it was a touchdown after that.
With Rashid being gone, I know you have speed too, but like he was obviously like the
deep threat.
Does that allow you, with him being gone, does that allow you to step more into that and demonstrate your speed? Like his absence in any way affected the way that you were used to it?
Nah, I mean, first off, it was tough for me, man. Seeing she get traded. Been here. He been here since I've been here, so it was real tough on me all week. I was kind of down about it. We've been through the fire together. I mean, not the ideal situation, but we stuck by each other. We kept trying to rally each other every week, especially this year. But I'm proud of him and the opportunity he has going over there. I'm going to go watch him right after this. So, but to answer your question, I feel like we was both being used as that, especially this year. We had speed on both sides. He a route runner too. At the end of the day, he's not just a deep threat, but that's generational speed right there. So I feel like him being used as a deep threat was great for the team.
About your one-handed catch near the end there?
Like I said, man, it's just being in those situations, having them trust me in those situations, especially on third down to try to ice the game. I appreciate them putting me in that position. I had some early drops early in the year. I feel like that's what they expect out of me, and I expect out of myself. So we got to keep it going and keep building on this.
Did the anxiety go away once you started playing, or was there any point in the game where you started to feel better?
Yeah, for sure. I just need to get a couple plays, get comfortable back out there. That's what me and AK was talking about. Just try to, just that first drive, just get out there, take a couple hits or or just get acclimated into the game. I feel like that released everything. So just that helped me a lot.
And your dad being here, what does that mean?
Yeah, it mean a lot, man. Shout out my pops. I was in a tough situation around this point last year. God was always there, and he was right there with God. So I appreciate him for everything. It meant a lot to me. Just the action he showed through that process. I was going through a lot. So, and him being at every game, all the away games, all the home games, it means a lot to me, man. He was out there solo in the stands by himself. I had to go talk to him pregame just to loosen up my mind, and it helped me a lot.
What did Tyler what did you make of him today, and specifically with does his arm open up the offense at all? Or?
Yeah, he's a hell of a player. Me and him talk a lot, and that scramble drill helped us a lot, especially on that first drive, that deep one of Jawan. It helped us a lot, but we've been seeing that all year. He's been running the scout team really good, and I've been watching him closely, try to see what type of quarterback he is. He excels in the scramble drill, so he had a lot of plays like that today. And just him sitting back there, taking those hits, they got a really good defense. So sending him all those blitzes, he got sacked a couple of times, but he still stayed in there and delivered us some good balls.
Could you expand on that last point? Like, when a team drafts a quarterback like that, or he comes in, like, are you curious to find out what you have? And even, like, a stretch like this, like, are you still kind of wondering how he's going to perform or anything like that?
Not really, man. It's a game. A lot of expectations, a lot of outside things, a lot of things like that. But we just got to focus on our journey at the end of the day. He knows what he could do. We all know what he can do. And he's a great player. So we expect him to do all that. And he expects that from himself. So, like I said, it's what we've been seeing all year. Like I said, he ran the scout team really good. And he got his opportunity. He's taking advantage of it.
Alante was saying just how much fun like this game felt, and like how the defense was just like having fun again. And I know that can be hard, in a season like this. For you and the offense, like how did it feel playing in this type of game with a lead versus some of the other games?
Always being down.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt good. The defense showed up really good today. We knew they was going to try to run the ball on offense, so they did a really good job stopping the run, and it kind of it was tough for them to get their offense going. So I feel like we could have took advantage of a lot of more opportunities, but like I said, getting the win was great, and like I said, the defense stepped up really good today, and I feel like they carried us today.
Chris,
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Chris.
you have Tyler?
I got all that shit with me.
Chris Alante.
So how did your first one as a starter feel?
It's just a great feeling. I think my favorite moment is just seeing everybody in the locker room, dapping everybody up, and just kind of the work that everyone's kind of put into this point, and but just a great team win. I think like CO hit it, and I mean the defense, special teams, everybody had an impact on the game, and it was just a great feeling.
Could you take us through the touchdown to Juwan there at the end? Like, when you hear the play call, what's kind of going through your mind?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of looking forward to
Yeah, I mean he was the last guy the ball was supposed to go to on that play. We're really trying to work the field side there on a kind of high low with a dig and a shallow, and he slipped out on a scramble drill, and it was just a really good play by him finishing it off. So I thought the O-line played really well all day. I mean they're a really good front, and we were kind of down with some injuries, so some of those guys really stepped up. Just awesome, and Dylan, and so I was really proud of them.
So, in terms of what was working with the scramble drill today, because there are a few of them, it seemed like.
Yeah, I think the guys we put a point of emphasis on it in practice, and I think, guys were just doing a really good job of getting open. And I think there's a bunch more times where I could have found them, left some stuff on the field there. So we'll kind of clean that up, and I'll be better.
Sticking with the Juwan theme a little bit, how was the 52-yarder initially supposed to go?
Man, that was earlier on in the game. Once again, I think it was, we were trying to get it to him a little bit, and it just kind of happened that way. And he just, like I said, he was just familiar. I think just having that chemistry with him, he did a really good job of extending it.
Was there any point during that play when you were scrambling around that you thought about just running it yourself, or saw where he was, or were you always just like, I know where Juwan will be, so I'm
yeah.
just gonna get it to him?
I think at that point you're trying to get yards with your legs, and if you're always trying to make a play down the field with your arm, and then if you can't get it, then you're going to go run for it. So there's kind of a little bit of both to it, and he just kind of flashed, and he did a really good job.
Juwan played the touchdown too. Like that's a big moment on the game from the outside in terms of like it's third down. If you guys did it, you're in good shape. And the touchdown obviously was like a stealing thing. So like, did you feel any of that in the moment, or did you kind of just focus, like, did the play calling kind of focus on it? Like, how did you kind of process that?
No, we knew going into the drive that we had to be super focused on our details. We had to finish the drive. We had to get points on the board, and whatever that looks like. But I was just focused on that play. It just kind of happened that way, and obviously it was a great finish and great stamp to it. But at the end of the day, what I've been preaching is just do your job and focus on those little things, because then that's how those big plays come. It's nothing more than it was that just we kind of happened in practice. I don't think he's ever gotten the ball up to that point on that play, and it was a really good job by him.
Were there any areas from last week's game that you felt like noticeable improvements for this one, that you felt like you either read something better or processed it faster or anything like that?
I think it's just continual reps, continual progression, getting better every single day, and like I said, I think I can continue to get better and be better. So I think we did a really good job running the ball. There was a big emphasis on that to kind of continue to set that up, and but yeah, I was just really proud of the offense and the whole team. I think just having some urgency, each week, having a little bit of juice, a little bit of swagger, kind of showed up.
Chris on his touchdown said that it was like he thought initially that they were in cover 2, but it turned to man. Did you read that the same way? Do you think they were in cover 2 first, or like did you just kind of figure through that play and what you saw there?
Yeah, I saw him spin down late, so I knew I had an opportunity. I was thinking it was probably going to be Shell, and but I trusted him. He was going to go win, especially with, him down the field. He's such a dynamic player, so he did a really good job just kind of fighting through the contact and making a play and finishing it.
He said that he was having some anxiety before the game, just given what happened here last year with the season-ending concussion. Did you tell that from him? Did you say anything to him? How did you kind of process that?
We were going about just the game plan, just the details. I think whenever you can kind of focus on your task at hand, I think we all have. There's no telling what people are going through off the field and battling injuries, all that stuff. And I think whenever you can kind of come together and just have fun, it makes it super easy. But super proud of him. Just kind of, I know it wasn't easy for sure, but we were just talking the whole time, texting each other last night about what we're going to do and all that stuff. So I was really happy for him. And obviously he had a great day.
You may have answered this already, but just this being your first win as a starting quarterback in the NFL, just how does it feel? How good does it feel?
Yeah, what I said to Catherine was just, it was a great feeling in the locker room. I think with everybody just kind of dancing, you're having fun in there, but it just kind of came down to just playing complimentary football, and we played together. I think those great things happened, and especially against a good team. But for me, it's just been so fun, just kind of learning every single day, each week, kind of the formula for success. And obviously we got to keep competing and keep repeating that.
To that point of learning, like so many of the conversions today were like on 3rd and long. Like I believe this 3-yard touchdown was on 3rd and long. From watching and then even from like playing last week, like how much more comfortable have you got with like navigating the pocket and keeping guys downfield, things of that nature?
Exactly what you said. I think navigating the pocket, keeping your eyes downfield, and trying to dish it out. There's certain feel element between when you run, scramble, hit the check down, but continual progression. I got to continue to be better at it. It's going to that's my job. I got to continue to do that. So I was really proud of those guys, the O-line, I think the pocket, and I think just our communication, we can continue to be better with it. So yeah, I think it was a good step, and we got a lot more to go.
What do you make of the physicality the run game had today?
Yeah, that was big time. I think just Alvin, his explosiveness, the O-line, their physicality against that front was unbelievable. Especially just to come in there, like I said, banged up, maybe not a lot of reps. So they're just super happy for them, and I think all those guys, Devin, everybody, Taysom finishing at the end with the 4-minute drive, that wasn't easy. So they did a really good job.
There have been a lot of quarterbacks here, obviously, that come off the field on 3rd down or in the red zone for Taysom. But I'm just wondering, since you're kind of going through it for the first time, how you process that. Is it a weird feeling for you? Like, how do you go about that?
No, I mean, I think he does a really good job presenting. Just you got to think. And I think I can do the same. With my legs, but he's a strong runner, man. He's freaking tough, and but no, I think it's part of it. I mean, whatever we can do to get the first down and score, that's awesome. So I mean, super happy for him, and obviously the element that he's added for us.
And did it mean anything to you that it's 3rd and 12 with the Juwan play that they called the passing play there to try and go for it rather than just hand it off, or does that show any trust in you as a quarterback?
Yeah, I think it just. Kellen knew the importance of just finishing that drive and converting there. And we're always, I mean, my mindset, I'm always going to be aggressive and always going to try and go for it. That's kind of Kellen's motto is go for it. So it was just obviously a great play by him, just, staying friendly and finishing it.
That touchdown came on the heels of I believe it was the interception, or maybe it was the fumble recovery. The point being, this team played a lot of complimentary football today.
It was huge. I think the defense was just kind of the lifeline today of just, creating that juice. Earlier on, I think, we did some good things, but just we had to finish in some of those moments. And the defense, they did a heck of a job of, they provided the juice. They were getting stops all over the field. Those turnovers were big. And I think, the great thing about, our offense, we were able to capitalize on some of that. And, we got to continue to do that. We got to continue to play complimentary football.
Apologize if you've been asked about this, but Juwan was saying Dalton kind of searching for the ability to finish. So how satisfying was it to he had 6 minutes on the clock and to run it all out?
Yeah, I mean it's the best feeling in the world from an offensive perspective. Whenever you've put enough points on it, now you're trying to run the ball, and then you get a great 4-minute drive and you finish that out, and you get to take a knee. There's not a better feeling from just a confidence standpoint from the O-line, the running backs, all those guys. That's when you can kind of impose your will, and we got to continue to find ways to put points on the board and not leave so many plays out there. But I was just so happy with how we finished that.
And then that touchdown to Juwan, the 30-yarder. Where was he in the progression?
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to get the ball really. He was just kind of clearing it out, maybe a backside alert, if he got it, but he just did a good job in the scramble phase, slipping them and making the catch. So, stuff like that happens. You got to make a play, and more often than not, especially in the red zone, is when those good things happen is on the scramble drill.
At what point do you see him as you're running around there? Is it you notice him
Yeah.
the guy, or how does that?
I was just kind of afterwards, whenever I stepped and moved left. Yeah, I saw him shake him, but obviously wasn't looking at him prior to that.
Now going into the bye week, how do you carry that moment?
I think it's just having a sense of urgency when we at practice and we're in our preparation, and kind of continuing, the emphasis on everything that we've done to this point. Just learning from our mistakes, and then just not letting up. There's a lot of ball to be played, and I think we got a lot ahead of us.
Sorry, that's not this, but the first Saints rookie quarterback to win a game since 1981. Does that mean something to you? How do you have?
I think it was Archie, right? It was Dave. You guys are on it, man. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's a great honor just because of this organization, and obviously Archie's one of my just closest friends that I've been able to kind of resources, and somebody that mentors I looked up to, and so that's obviously a great feeling. But at the end of the day, I think there's, like I said before, we got a lot more to go in the tank, and it's a good step. But I think we can continue to progress. Thank you.
Thanks.
That was head coach Kellen Moore, cornerback Alante Taylor, wide receiver Chris Olave, and quarterback Tyler Shuck. After Shuck's first win as a starter and the team's second win, everybody talked about the defense and their contributions to this victory today. You got to start though with the overall play from just each side of the ball. It's not just the defense, because yes, the defense did step up and make huge plays. They forced 2 turnovers, but Tyler Shuck had great command. A couple players made some big catches. Chris Olave had that one-handed catch. But then in special teams, you have Nathan Shepard who comes and blocks a field goal, and then there was that debacle,
Yeah,
but Pete Werner comes back and gets the fumble recovery. So there's just so many different things that happened in this game. I don't know if you can pinpoint one area as being the reason why.
No, I think this game, to me, it was a dominating performance. I said it to start the show. The score 17-7 doesn't reflect how dominant the Saints were. You start looking at the box score, Carolina couldn't do anything. And there were things that the Saints didn't do perfect, which you never play perfect, and still I felt like they dominated this game. And the man of the hour, Tyler Shuck, I mean, it's great to hear from him. And I think now the expectations go up a little bit for him. Now, how do you handle those expectations as a player? Because just like you want to stack wins, you want to stack performances as a player. So when you come back after the bye week, you want to continue on that trend. But as a defensive guy, I thought the defense was outstanding, but I kind of disagree. I think it was the offense who set the tone of the day. And that sounds crazy. They scored 17 points. I think coming out, being extremely aggressive, going vertical. Jawan, the big 57-yard catch to start the game. They go right down the field. They're super aggressive early in the game and not waiting. I think the defensive guys, I know as a defense guy, I'm sitting over like, okay, we came to play today.
Yeah.
And it feeds off of that. And so I give a lot of props to Coach Moore with that aggressive mindset, like, hey, we're going to come out, we're going to cut this thing loose. We're not going to dink and dunk in the first quarter.
Yeah, because it was that long pass to Jawan that set up the eventual field goal. Although you really wished you could have got in and gotten 7 there. It was points on the board, 7-3 at that point. And then you hold the Panthers a couple drives, and then you follow up with a 62-yard touchdown to Chris Olave. Yeah. So, yeah, you're taking your shots when you have them. It seemed like the Panthers were really trying to shut down the run and wanted to make Tyler Shuck beat them. The rookie quarterback coming in, rightfully so. But it was almost the same game plan for the Saints defensively against Panthers run game that's been so strong and wasn't today.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you look at, I said one of the keys to going to the game was for Coach Staley to have all 11 Saints defensive people in the TV screenshot. Get them close to the box, make Bryce Young beat you. And both defense coordinators said, we're going to find out what quarterback plays better today. Yeah. And the Saints had the quarterback who played way more superior, made plays.
But wait, where was their quarterback drafted?
That's the problem. The number 1 overall pick, they've won 4 out of the last 5, so I think they had some confidence in Bryce Young. But when a defensive coordinator and everybody says, we're going to make you beat us, and you can't, that's a problem. And I think Carolina has their issues. But again, this is a team that won 4 of their last 5 games. They were on a roll, and the Saints went in there and played their best football game. I look back, obviously the Giants game, all those takeaways, you won that game. But to me, this is the best performance that the Saints have had since almost a year ago. Cleveland at home, it was a 35-17 game. Just a well-rounded game. Even the mistakes you made, we've been so accustomed to saying, as soon as there's a mistake in the game, like, oh, here we go again, that's going to cost us. And the Saints played so well today, they were able to overcome some of those things.
One thing that really stood out in this game was the Saints' commitment to that run game. It's been talked about over the last several weeks. They had back-to-back games where they only had 30 yards on the ground. Today, they go over 100, 122. Alvin Kamara ends up with 83. Devin Neal had 22. AK goes over 100 scrimmage yards, though. And then that, just the continued usage of the run game and going back to it, I think did help open up some things in the past game.
Yeah, it's hard. There's just a commitment to the running game. It's easier to stay committed to the running game when your defense plays as good as they did today, because now you're not panicked, you're not chasing points. So I give Coach Moore a lot of credit. Everybody knows we need to run the football better, but staying committed to it. It's kind of boring. 3 yards in a cloud of dust gets boring, but it's winning football. You're controlling the tempo of the game. And it's a battle of attrition. As a defensive player, I would much rather play a team that throws the ball 41 times a game than hands the ball off 30 times a game, because you start to wear down taking on those blocks. And so just commitment to that running game, wearing down a defense, I think that's what you kind of saw as the game went on, that Alvin and getting Taysom more involved today was huge too. I love the commitment to the running game. But again, props to the defense for allowing the offense to stay committed to it.
And when you went to the pass game, I mean, you had some really good plays from several areas. Chris Olave goes over 100 yards, first time this season. Juwan Johnson was 4 of 4 for 92, so he almost got there. Juwan had the second touchdown for the Saints. It made it 17-7 late in the game, kind of solidified the win for the Saints, but the Saints also had to put together an extremely long drive to seal the win, and they did a 7-minute drive to end the game and not let the Panthers get another opportunity.
Yeah, they basically did this week what the Rams did to them last week. You took the air out of the ball and said, you're not getting this thing back. We're gonna finish this thing out ourselves. And that's when you're controlling a game. When you can say, we're in a 4-minute offense, we're gonna run this thing out, you're not even gonna touch the ball. And going back to Chris, like Chris was outstanding today. You know, he's the number 1 receiver on this team. He gets the most targets every week. And when you start making plays like that, you're gonna get more targets. The one-handed catch on the sideline, the play early in the game against one of the best corners in the NFL, that was a huge play. So plays like that, your best players need to make their biggest plays in the game
Mm-hmm.
like this. And like I said, when they do, it gives confidence to the entire sideline. And now you go out and play better.
Yeah, and you heard Olave when he was speaking to the media. It was a tough week for him because he lost his best friend on the team, Rashid Shaheed, in the trade to Seattle. And then he was returning back to a place that he had one of the concussions and the one that ended his season last year. So he was dealing with a lot mentally going into this game, and he relied on his teammates. It's something we've heard all season long, that this team feels very together. They still enjoy playing for each other. They're having a good time. They think that they are building something here, and I think today was evident of all of that coming together.
Absolutely. I give the guys a lot of credit. I know they're pros. I know they're paid to be professional football players, but there's a lot of teams. I've seen a lot of teams 1-7. You know, you have the possibility of being 1-8. You know, everyone's counting you out, and so everybody just kind of says, "Where am I going on vacation? Pack your bag." We're all independent contractors. This team did not play like that today. They played outstanding together football. I give a lot of credit to Coach Moore and the coaching staff as well, because I think a sign of a well-coached football team is how do you respond to adversity. You know, last week everybody was down on you. You come back, you go against a hot team, and you dominate them. So I think it's a very well-coached team, and props. And I know there's no better feeling than being in an opponent's locker room, winning a game, jumping on a bus, going on the airplane. It's going to be a fun plane ride home. It's just fun to see those guys enjoy the success because of all the work they put into it.
Well, they're going to get to celebrate this win for a little bit longer because we go into the bye week this next week. There are going to be a couple more practices, and I'm sure the team's going to meet a couple more times before they'll get a couple days off. But you, as a player, former player, going into the bye week off of a win, especially the way the season has gone so far, how much better does that make things when you come back into the building?
It really does. It's a big difference because you go into a bye week. If you go into a bye week on a loss, you get away from the game, so you rest physically and mentally, but you also have more time for people to tell you who everybody else is the problem is on the team. Why is your D-line not playing? Why is your tight end not playing? So you listen to all these negative things, and now you come off a win, you go into a bye week, and now everyone's feeling good. So there's positive vibes throughout that 2 weeks off, and it just helps your outlook. And then it doesn't hurt that you get to play your hated rival coming out of the bye week at home on an afternoon game. So you just want to see this team stack success, and success. Just don't look at the win-loss record right now. Nobody wants it to be what it is, but you just want to see improvement every single week from this team.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing from quarterback Tyler Shuck, the second-round pick this year, is definitely exciting stuff, and we're going to build on it, see what else can be done in the next couple weeks, because we still got a lot of football left to play this season. But this one was a win, 17-7 in Charlotte, getting the first NFC South victory behind us for the season. We'll have the next week off, and then it will be back in the Superdome for that game against the Atlanta Falcons, who we don't know what's going to happen next week, but they had a tough loss today.
Yes.
Real tough.
Yeah.
They were in Berlin,
Overseas,
overtime loss to the Colts. So, obviously they have to play again next week, but that one's definitely going to sting for them. Don't hate it. Sorry.
No, I don't either.
We do want to acknowledge former NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue, who passed away this morning at the age of 84. He held the position of commissioner for 17 years and guided the league through 9/11 and Hurricane Katrina. Mrs. Benson put out this statement earlier today saying she was deeply saddened to learn of Paul Tagliabue's passing. He had unprecedented vision and tireless spirit as the commissioner. He spurred an enormous growth period for the NFL. His efforts played a key role in the growth of the game and as a worldwide entity. We just mentioned games in Germany this weekend. So he has done a lot, did a lot for the NFL, and we just wanted to acknowledge him and the impact that he made on today as the day that he passed. So we will be thinking of him and his family going forward, and we will be celebrating this victory for a few days. 17-7 over the Carolina Panthers. For Scott Shanley, our producer Brandon Hassett, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again in a couple weeks.